Hey everybody, it's Lewpac here, back with another Albion Online video for you. Today we're going to be talking about the upcoming portal changes, what they are and how they're going to affect life in Albion Online for the various guilds and alliances. So first we'll talk about the current portal system and what's wrong with it, why it's being changed and stuff like that. The current portal and respawn system works in the following way. So when you die, you're given a number of options as to where you respawn. One option is the nearest city, which if you're in the Outlands will always return you to Carlion. If you're in the Royal Zones will return you to one of the Royal Cities, whichever one's closest to you. That could be Carlion or it could be one of the outer cities. The second option is to respawn at your nearest guild territory. Now that could be in the Outlands, that could be in the Royals, it could be really, really far away. And that's one of the issues with the current system. For example, if a guild holds exclusively Anglia territories, for example, and one of their players wants to get there fast, but he's playing in Mercia, he can simply bank his stuff in a war camp for later or in an allied tower, click suicide and then select nearest guild territory, and it will take him all the way across the world instantly, ready to fight over there. So he's eliminated the need to run across the Outlands, fast teleported and is ready for action, which is, you know, in a game that's built around localization and is supposed to be sort of, the geography is supposed to be important, is kind of OP, isn't it? The third option is you can respawn at your home. Now, home can be defined as a guild hall or a house in an Outland city plot. So it has to be owned by your guild or your alliance, and if you set your home, anytime you die, you have the option to respawn there. Now couple this, of course, with nearest guild territory, and you've kind of got some issues. For example, I could set my home in my guild territory in Spur Pound, and anytime I'm playing in Mercia, I can just suicide when I'm done, and then if I want to get back to Anglia, it's instant to get there. And the reason people do this is because of the system called portal locks. The current system, we have 3 continents, the green, the yellow and the red. If you go to a continent, for example, I will just demonstrate, I'll go to Anglia here real quick on my Ox. Hopefully I don't get killed while making this video. So I'll go to Anglia here and you'll see that I get a green Anglia portal lock, and I can only travel to this specific portal. So the green lock is 2 hours and the specific portal is 10 minutes. I won't actually get this lock because I'm going to go, you have a 1 minute leeway time to go back in. So I'm not actually going to get this lock, but that shows you what the locks are like. So the idea is that once you've gone to a continent, you have to wait 2 hours before you can go to another continent. Of course, as we just discussed, using the home system and the nearest guild system, you can actually, you know, circumvent that. So for example, if Sun didn't have this territory in Mercia, I could set my home at the Hammer and Sickle plot here in Duneston, and my nearest guild territory in the Outlands would be in Anglia. So wherever I'm playing in the Outlands, I could fast travel. So I could die and go nearest guild territory, which would take me to the Outlands here in Anglia. I could die and select home and it would take me back to Mercia. Therefore, regardless of the locking system, my character can be in either continent straight away. Obviously, you know, Cumbria, I wouldn't be able to fast travel there, but honestly, if I'm red locked, I can spawn in Elmwood and I can be in Cumbria locked in 2 tiles. So the issue we've got now is everybody just bases out of Carlion. When you're a new player, you might be in the outer cities of the Royals for a while, but as soon as you get into a guild or you get to a certain stage, you realise that Carlion is the place to be, because it has access to every Outland portal. It's the only place with an Outlands portal. You can get anywhere in the world, and you know, people don't even base their guilds in the Outlands. They base them in Carlion because they know they can respond to anything in the Outlands within a few minutes. Like, honestly, from Carlion, if your whole force is unlocked, you can be anywhere in the Outlands in 15 minutes. Which, you know, for an open world conflict PvP game is a bit OP. Anyone being able to be anywhere in 15 minutes, being able to fast travel across the entire world, kind of takes the whole point out of choosing where to live. That's why we have arrived at these new portal changes, which are going to be coming in on the 10th with the free-to-play. So this drastically changes the way the Outlands work. So now, instead of Carlion having the Outlands portal, there's going to be an Outlands portal in all of the royal cities and in Carlion. And each portal will only take you to certain places. So immediately, Carlion isn't the be-all and end-all. Depending on where your guild is based, your nearest portal might be somewhere else. Now, this is all well and good, but doesn't mean a lot if people can just fast travel anyway. But they have actually made changes to this system as well. So there's going to be drastic changes to the respawn system. So nearest city respawn has been changed to last visited city. So whatever city you were last in, that is the one you will port back to. Nearest guild territory is removed. This system is completely removed. They have slightly buffed setting a home, because now you can set it not only at city plots, but also towers. So this will mean you can actually have a home at a tower in the Royals as well. And it functions the same way before. When you die, you can spawn at your home. However, now, if you choose last visited city, you lose your home binding and you will have to manually run there and rebind. So there's none of this yo-yoing across the world. Nip back to Carlion, do some stuff, instantly port back to my home, back there. You're going to have to move around. And, you know, this creates more traffic in the world. People aren't just going to be suiciding and porting across the map. They're going to be running there manually. So this makes the world more alive. It makes location more important. And more importantly, it's going to spread people around the world. Because the other thing that is changing is the way you relock to a portal. So, when you leave via a Royal Continent portal, you will get a corresponding colour lock. But now, unlike before, that lock doesn't drop. That lock is solid, it's permanent. The only way you can change it is by going in the Outlands, manually running to a different colour portal and coming out of it. Now this is why my guild, Sun, is moving to Mercia for Season 6, because we're heavily based over here in Anglia. And as you can see, it's a hell of a lot of run to be with our guild in Carlion. And as a guild that wants to be endgame focused, we absolutely have no business in Anglia right now. Because before, we were able to hold a nice chunk of Anglia with little competition, while still having our cake and eating it, fame farming in the best dungeons in Mercia, holding a little bit of Mercia with the crazy good enchant rates, and having all the fun there, while still having our nice comfortable home in Anglia. And as much as we enjoyed it, that's very unfair to new and upcoming guilds, that powerful guilds with lots of money are able to sit on a lot of real estate in Anglia and also be playing in Mercia and having fun. So, you know, any serious endgame guild now is not going to want to be in Anglia, because the dungeons cap at tier 6. The enchant rate is worse than the Royals in most cases. It's not the place to be now. Carly, we want to be all in the area in Mercia together as a guild now, because the geography moving around is so much more difficult. I mean, I might actually do the run once just to sort of see how long it takes. But even on a direwolf, I think you're looking from the furthest part of, the closest portal of Carlion to the Martlock portals, you're probably looking at a good 30-35 minute run, assuming you don't meet any hostiles or anything like that. I don't know, maybe it's faster on a direwolf, maybe not. I don't know the exact timings, but put it this way, it's going to be more of a pain in the ass going from one to the other. It also means, Royal alliances you know, they've got the luxury. If they don't have anything in the Outlands, they can choose where they want to be. You know, I expect a lot of the independents to be staying in Carlion because they want to be raiding in Mercia. They want to be hitting the high enchant rates, the best dungeons. But the guilds with Outland holdings, and when the new hideout system comes in for guilds, where you base is going to be super, super important. The changes to locks are going to be a big deal. We won't see the full impact of this, of course, until the 10th, when it actually starts to happen. And don't worry, all of you guys who, if your guild is moving to a royal city, then don't you worry. From the 10th, you will be able to get a one-off move of your player islands. So you'll be able to move them to your relevant point. A couple of things that concern me about this update, though. There's been no mention of the outer cities getting a black market, which kind of gives Carlion a bit of an edge in terms of the money you can make. And I don't really think that's fair. Okay, it's only a few tiles, but you do have to cross PvP zones to get to Carlion. So I'd like to see all of the cities get a linked black market with Carlion just to keep it even, because I don't think it's fair that, you know, the Carlion people get access to the black market as well as the highest tier dungeons, the best enchant rates, stuff like that. So that's one thing that's concerning me. The other thing is the one-off island move. So for example, if you move your island to Martlock because your guild is, you know, based around the Martlock portals, then, you know, your guild folds, or you decide you want to move on to another guild, and you find yourself in a guild that's based out of Lyndhurst, there's going to be a royal pain in the ass to water your carrots, isn't it? They've got to think about, I think, you know, maybe at the end of each season you can move your islands, or at the end of each reset split there's maybe one day you can move your islands. But the issue is if people can move their islands once a month or once every 3 months, they can mass transport goods to another place and you know, exploit markets. But I honestly don't really know what the impact on the economy is going to be. So yeah. Also, another little change is obviously we talked about the indefinite portal lock, but it's also going to lock you to the specific portal for 20 minutes instead of 10 minutes. So for example, if you come out the Blencathra portal and then go back in, you can't go out one of the other exits for 20 minutes instead of 10. But obviously you're quite local anyway. You could probably get from Blencathra to Roostcliff in 20 minutes anyway, just by running. So it is what it is. The island move, we talked about this. This one-off move, we'll see if it's going to change. I'll pop the links to these changes in the description of the video, and you can have a look for yourself. It tells you a little bit more about, you know, what portals are where, you know, what the deal is and the reasons for doing it. And I really agree with their reasons for doing it. It was too easy for every guild to be everywhere. It's stifling content for new guilds, having these big organizations in Anglia, just shutting them out. The royal cities tend to be quite dead once people move on and realize Carlion's the best. So I overall like all these changes, but as always, guys, I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed my little video. I will be doing another video on the free-to-play patch that's coming in, because there is actually quite a lot of patch notes for the 10th, including some big meta balance changes that are coming in. But I thought this part of the update definitely needed its own video, because at first glance, if you don't understand Albion, it doesn't seem like a huge deal. But as someone who's played for 2 years, and, you know, knowing the mentality of players when it comes to running from one side of the world to the other, this is actually a massive game changer, and I can't wait to see the impact on the world. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching another of my videos. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and a special thank you to all of my supporters on Patreon, as I know we have a few new ones coming on board. You can check out all the links below if you want to support the channel, and I'll see you next time.